Alright, WWE fans, how's it going? It's that time, like every Monday, to review Monday Night Raw on tonight's episode, December 17th, 2012. To kick off Monday Night Raw, this was the Slammies, by the way, so awards would be being handed out throughout the whole show. But the kickoff, we'd start off with a matchup, Rey Mysterio versus Damien Sandow. It was basically a pretty short matchup. It's a kind of a replay of what we seen last night because we saw Ray and Sin Cara take on Rhodes Scholars, and Rhodes Scholars ended up beating them. And this time, though, Rey Mysterio would end up getting the better of Damien Sandow and end up 619ing him for the win. And it was, like I said, a short matchup, a pretty average match, and I'll give it a C. So then we would see our first award be presented. It was the Tell Me I Did Not Just See That award, and Booker T would present this award. The winner of the award was Kofi Kingston for his handstand at the Royal Rumble, and that was pretty cool. So I guess it makes sense for him to win that. And the Boogeyman would return during this. Don't really get the purpose of that, but hey, why not throw in WWE Legends of the Past on the Slammies? So then we would see a quick Divas matchup as always. Another Caitlyn versus Eve, which we've seen a million times. Caitlyn would pick up the win. I'll give it a D minus, maybe even an F, just because we've seen this a million times. The Divas are just getting stale, and I'm getting tired of seeing Divas on TV, in my opinion. So then we would see the New Age Outlaws come out as they would present the Comeback of the Year award, and Jerry the King Lawler would win that, which makes sense because he was battling death as his heart attack happened in September. So very well deserved award there. Congrats to the King. And then this would then take us to the Intercontinental Champion Kofi Kingston taking on Tensai Quick. Trouble in Paradise would win it for Kofi. And after the matchup, Wade Barrett would attack. So it kind of looks like Wade Barrett will continue his feud with Kofi. I'll give the match a D just because Tensai is boring and it was very quick. All the matches seem to be going very quick because of the Slammies so far on tonight's Raw. So then we would see Vicky Guerrero come out as she would present the Kiss of the Year award. AJ was nominated in all of them. AJ pretty much got around this whole entire 2012, and AJ and John Cena would win the Kiss of the Year. But then after that, Dolph Ziggler would come out because Vicky and AJ were starting to get into it, and Dolph said, "We're not going to have this happen again." And then AJ would jump on top of Dolph Ziggler and start making out with Dolph Ziggler on stage. So just another guy to add to AJ's list of makeout sessions. And then after that award presentation, we would see the Great Khali versus David Otunga, probably two of my least favorite wrestlers. And once again, a short matchup, a squash matchup for the Great Khali, and I'll give it an F because there was no wrestling whatsoever towards this match. Really, Monday Night Raw, as this point, was very shitty in my opinion. So then we would finally see the Superstar of the Year award be presented. Ric Flair, we would see the 16-time world champion. It was great to see Ric Flair back. It's probably one of the better things that's happened on this show, if not the best thing that happened on this show tonight. For John Cena, though, would end up winning this award. And I'm a John Cena fan, but this is not John Cena's award to win. CM Punk was WWE champion for the whole entire year, and John Cena won, I think, 2 pay-per-views out of the 12 that happened. Makes no sense for John Cena to win this award. So it was very disappointing. It kind of can tell that the voting is rigged from the WWE, even though they say you can vote on the app that we heard of a million times. Download this app. I mean, come on, guys, we get it. You want us to download the app. You're kind of pushing our buttons there. So then Punk would come out and say how he deserves it, which makes sense. He does. And he would say that he can beat Flair's ass with one leg, and then Flair and him would get into the ring, and then CM Punk would whip Ric Flair with a crutch. Then Ric Flair would finally fight back and put Paul Heyman in the figure 4. And then after Heyman and Punk got away from the ring, we would see the Shield would come out during Flair's, after putting the Heyman in the figure 4, the Shield would come out to interrupt Flair. And thank God, because I love the Shield. I love what they're doing, and it's just a great group in my opinion. And then we would cut to commercial as the Shield was approaching Ric Flair. Then when we come back from commercial, Team Hell No was helping out Ric Flair. Then Ryback would come out, and the Shield would run away. Basically something that we saw last night. And I'll give the segment a B just because of Ric Flair returning to the WWE. That was nice to see. Then another squash match after this. Brodus Clay takes on JTG, and Brodus picks up the win. I'm giving it an F because we've seen this matchup probably 5 or 6 times on Monday Night Raw and or SmackDown. Then the Santino and Tensai would present the Laugh Out Loud moment of the year. The Rock would win this after his comments made to John Cena, and Santino would make a joke calling Tensai translated to American as Fat Albert. That was pretty funny. So that was pretty, like I said, pretty funny. Then we would see Cody Rhodes take on Sin Cara. It makes sense to have this match because Ray faced Damien Sandow. Cody Rhodes would end up catching Sin Cara off guard and putting him in the crossroads and winning the matchup. This matchup was pretty good. I'll give it a C+, and Cody Rhodes picks up the victory. Then Zack Ryder and Layla would come out to present the trending hashtag of the year, and the winner of that would be Feed Me More. Then the Big Show would come out basically talking about how he beat Sheamus last night. He would get some boring chants from the fans. Don't blame him. Big Show isn't that fun on the mic. Sheamus would then come out, and then Show would say something to really piss off Sheamus, and then Sheamus would just start attacking, and then we would finally see a bro kick, and then this awkward just kind of silence would go on as everybody's kind of awaiting Dolph Ziggler, and then Dolph Ziggler would come running down the ramp. Dolph Ziggler looking to cash in the briefcase, but then John Cena stops Dolph Ziggler from cashing in. Very disappointing for me. I think that would have been a great time for Dolph Ziggler to win it, and it would be cool because the show was pretty shitty up to that point. So Ziggler cash-in would kind of spark the show up a couple notches, but no cash-in. Cena spoils the cash-in, and Dolph Ziggler once again is hinting a cash-in, but we still haven't seen it. And then we would see the three-man band take on Alberto Del Rio and The Miz, and Tommy Dreamer would return. It was good seeing a former ECW superstar on Raw. It was an average tag matchup. It was probably our longest matchup we saw tonight. Miz took a lot of the damage for their team, but seeing Alberto Del Rio as a face is kind of interesting, and I'm maybe starting to grow on Alberto Del Rio. This might be something new to spark his career. Tommy Dreamer with DDT Slater for the win, and an average tag team matchup. Like I said, I'll give it a C+. Then Sheamus would come out to present the newcomer of the year. Ryback would win that, and that would lead us into a match against Cesaro. Cesaro would end up leaving the matchup because he looked a little frightened from Ryback, but in my opinion, Cesaro deserved newcomer of the year just because we've seen Ryback before in a different gimmick. So it's not like he's a newcomer. He was Skip Sheffield in like 2010, and Cesaro has won a title. Ryback hasn't. So Ryback will pick the win up over Cesaro on a countout. So then we'd see Mean Gene Okerlund and Ricky Steamboat and good old JR present the winner of Match of the Year, and the Match of the Year was deserved. Undertaker and Triple H, end of an era matchup at WrestleMania, won Match of the Year. Triple H was there. He finally made his return for, I don't know when the last time we really see him was. Maybe it was SummerSlam, but he says you haven't seen the last of Undertaker, so that gets fans on the edge of their seats. So then finally we'd see the main event, Mr. Money in the Bank, Dolph Ziggler and AJ take on Cena and Vicky Guerrero. AJ would ask for a ladder at the beginning before this commercial was cut, and she would climb to the top. Basically, she's mimicking Ziggler here, obviously, since we saw that last Raw. Then the match would start to kick off. AJ would leave the matchup. Vicky would end up leaving the matchup. And then we'd see AJ come back with this NXT superstar, Big E. And he would attack John Cena, so John Cena would win this matchup off of distraction by Big E. And this is really weird that all these guys are making debuts. I really haven't seen much of Big E to comment on his wrestling skills, but I feel like they're putting too much new people into our faces. I mean, we just saw The Shield, and I love The Shield. Now I think you're trying to take it too far, and this might be like another NXT invasion type thing here. And Big E might be working with everybody. I think maybe AJ could be leading this NXT invasion with The Shield and Big E. So a very weird way to end Raw. I really am not digging this whole Big E guy. Well, maybe we'll see some things future to come. Like I said, I've seen him rarely on NXT because I saw that I had a free week of NXT, so I saw like one match with him. He basically reminds me of a Black Ryback in my opinion. So overall, Raw was pretty bad. Wrestling was short. Wrestling was bad. The awards were rigged. I'm giving it a D+. I was very disappointed with tonight's Raw. And the only thing good about tonight's Raw, we're seeing some old WWE legends come back, Ric Flair, Steamboat, and so on. So like I said, D+. Like and subscribe to my channel, guys. Comment on how you thought tonight's Raw/Slammy award show was. Follow me on Twitter. Take it easy.